Hello and welcome to G2 Races. Today we are at the Biltema, a big Swedish retailer who sells car parts and car tools. And we're buying some equipment for today's video and next video for a couple of days, I think. But before we start, I want to do a recommendation again to go to ARC Garage. I have seen they have a lot of videos now about Alfa Romeo 147, 156, 159 and GT. Go and see the very good Alfa Romeo videos.
Home sweet home. We're finally home again, and we have a lot of goodies that I have bought for my cars. But the most important thing that I bought today is a compression kit. I want to show you. It's a very good price for this. It looks like this. It's a classical one. And this one we will try now, actually, immediately. Because I've been working like 1 hour just to prepare to do the compression test, because I had to look up online, like, how do I do a compression test? What do I have to turn off? And then, of course, I don't want the car to pump in fuel while I'm doing it. And of course, I don't want to have any ignitions, because that would not be very good while I do this. But I think I managed to find a fuse that I can take out. They will cut the fuel, because I read online that I could put out a blue connector that is connected to the cam sensor, but I can't find it. I don't know where my cam sensor is. I have no idea. Somewhere in the left area, and I can't find any blue connector. But finally I find a fuse. So I'm 85% sure that I have cut the fuel now. And of course I've taken off all the spark plugs. And I don't think I will have any arching, because I took electric tape and sealed them off. Yeah, that's it. What can happen? What we're looking for now is to have the same numbers on all 4 cylinders. We want to have the same pressure. The compression would be the same. And I don't know, for this kind of car, I think we would be at least around 10 bars pressure. I don't know, you know that better than me, but it will be interesting to see how much the normal pressure is in a Fiat Coupe. But we want them to be equal. If some of them is higher or lower, then of course we have a problem. And if it's lower, that means we have some sort of leakage, and that can be up in the valves, that they are not shutting tight, or we can have it in the bottom, the rings in the cylinder, that could also be a problem, or we have the whole casket, that we have a leakage somewhere in there. And I read that if we have bad compression numbers between the 2 in the middle, that can indicate that the gasket is bad between these 2, and that's interesting. And of course, that is also indication of we have water in the oil, as Dennis said. Yeah, but let's start now. Let's check out the first one and try it, do experiment, and see if this works. They warned me that when I screw this in, I will have to take it easy and not screw it in tight, just so that it sits. It doesn't have to be super hard. All good to go. But I'm alone, so I have myself to go in and crank it a couple of times, and then I come out. We have a compression now of 8 bar. If you can see it, 8 bar. It is 8 bars compression. I forgot paper and pen. I need to go there, get it. Second test is lower, 7.3, 7.4, somewhere around there. So it's 10% lower, almost 10% lower. Okay, let's take it to 0 and take the number 3. Time now for the 3rd cylinder, and my Alfa is giving some juice to the battery again. So let's see now with number 4. If we have a lower number again, equal to number 2, who have like 7.3, 7.4 bar, then means probably we could have a problem with the gasket being leaking between them. Could be a problem. We are at 6.7, 6.8. Maybe we have a winner. Maybe we have a winner between these, between number 2 and number 3. We have leakage in the gasket. We do number 4, of course, and then we see what we can do. If we can have a conclusion. Test number 4, and then maybe we retest all 4 one more time, just for good measurement. And we have 8.1, the same as the first one. That means we have bad compression on number 2 and number 3. Especially number 3 has really bad compression. It's down to 6.7, 6.8. I will do everyone again and to see that the numbers are consistent. I had to go in now, it was so cold outside. I have done now 3 tests on all 4 cylinders to see the compressions, and I get none the wiser. Like it looked like now, it's no real problem with compressions. The first test I did, but remember now, I did it from a cold engine because I cannot start this engine and let it idle until it gets hot, because of the bad sounds. I'm afraid I will break it more, so I did it from cold engine, and that is wrong, I know. But the first time, it was like the first cylinder had an 8 bar. The second time, the first cylinder had 7.8, and the last time had 7.9. That is, I would say, within the marginal of error, yeah. The second cylinder had the first time a 7.3, 7.4. That is much lower. No, not much lower, but it's lower. But the second time had a 8.5, and the last time a 8.8. 8.1, I mean 8.1. So the first time is much lower, but then it's like 8.5, 8.1. And it feels, that feels okay. Number 3, who had the worst numbers at the first try, with a 6.7, around 6.8, somewhere around there. Second time had a 7.8, and the last time 8.25. So of course, every time I do it, we have a little bit of heating, I guess, or the friction. But you see, number 2 and number 3 is within the same numbers as the first 2 cylinders. And of course, number 4 was 8.1, 8.1, 8.6. Can this mean I have no problem with compressions? I throw it out to you. It feels like maybe the first try was because it was completely cold, and then it just got better. So maybe it's not valves, and it's not the ring, and it's not the gasket. And when I'm driving it, as you hear, when I drive it on the starter engine, and the engine is spinning around, you have no bad sounds. You don't hear the metallic clanking sound. So I will check now for water in the oil, but I can't remember. Some of you who made a comment as talking about one of the belt, what do you call it, adjuster, you know, who makes sure everything is tight enough, belt tighter. I don't know. Someone had a comment about that. That one could be faulty. Or I have problem with the timing belt. That could also be a problem, and that is making the metallic sounds because the valves and everything is not going in exactly the correct sequence. But let's try now water and timing belt, and there was one more thing. I will remember when I get out. just recording the sound again. The sound feels like it's coming from this side. No pressure in there. Right now we have just over 1 bar of pressure. I don't know if it's... You see, when I'm revving a little bit, the pressure going up, of course. And it got too cold for me outside. So I decided we need to cut this video now, it's getting too long again. The conclusion today is I don't think that we have a compression fault. That is not the case with the car. So we have to go further into the engine, I guess. Maybe crankshaft, bearings. One of the cams could still be bad, but I don't think it's cams or valves anymore. I think it's deeper down into the engine. So crankshaft is a possibility. Of course, we could be some problem with the timing belt. I need to see how I can do this to really go in, open it up and see. But tomorrow, finally, I can take out the oil of the car and see if we have water in it. That is, I want to do that for like 5 days now, but everything else is happening all the time and I had to do something else. Yeah, but I hope you enjoyed this video and see you soon again. And please watch my other videos, like and subscribe and everything like that. Goodbye and have a good evening.